Hello, and welcome back to Conversations with Sharon and Rosa. I'm Rosa.
And I'm Sharon.
Thank you all for joining us once again this week. We appreciate you so much. So before we get into today's topic, and I'm sure you all know what today's topic is, but before we get into today's topic and our shout outs, I just want to wish everyone who has a birthday in September a happy birthday.
Yeah.
I know today this is airing on Wednesday and it's the last day of the month.
Right, 31st of August. Right.
It's September 1st.
Right.
So happy birthday to all of the people who are
Celebrating
birthdays in September.
Right. That takes care of all you Virgos and the wonderful Libras and anything that's not disclosed, whatever you think you are. Happy birthday to you. Well, happy birthday to you.
Absolutely. This month would have been my late Aunt Tootie's birthday month. So
Aunt Tootie.
Yeah. So anyway, happy birthday to her too.
Yes.
You have anything you want to say?
Well,
before?
I'm excited about September. As I said last week, if you're following the shows chronologically, don't forget to tune in to the Sherry Shepherd Show coming in at you on the 12th of September. You owe yourself something good. Tune in to the Sherry Shepherd Show. Okay?
Absolutely. I'm sure she would love for you all to tune in.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get into today's shout out. First shout out goes to Linda L. Linda, haven't heard from you yet. I'm hoping you're still watching, but thank you for being a subscriber. Also, Moses E. Thank you. And Lifted Lifestyle. Ooh, what is that? Oh, 361. Ooh, Lifted Lifestyle 361.
Okay, we'll go with that. Look, you know who you are, and you also know what that means. But in the
absolutely. I love the name. But thank you for subscribing to Conversations with Sharon and Rosa, and thank you for your comments too. We appreciate you.
Yes.
So now that that's out of the way, we are doing part 2 of our part 1 last week.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about mother-daughter's relationship. Ain't always easy.
Right.
So we definitely read a lot of your comments about the
your
conversation last week that we had, and we appreciate you sharing. And some of you all went deep, and we appreciate that. You know, because sometimes that's the healing moment that you need, just to get it out, just for others to see it or to get it off
or
your
some
chest.
people just to start the healing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You're
and
absolutely
it
right.
Definitely was great to hear some positive relationships with moms and daughters. That's always great to hear. And you know, I wish I had it, but I don't.
Right, and they aren't. They all were not positive. Some of them were just intense. Right. Some of them were difficult. Some of them were in the middle of transition. All of that, because like I said, we pronounced so very clearly last week. There's no two women that have the same type of relationship with their mother.
Yeah. But we also had a subscriber that said the exact same thing, that no two relationships are like when it comes to mother and daughter, and that goes for anything. You know, nobody does anything the same. You know, so everybody's uniquely different, and it's okay.
That's true, but you know, but it just. I just think it's so wonderful when we take the time to really examine the relationship. So, you know, we had asked as a precursor to, you know, for you to describe or look at what descriptors could possibly capture the relationship that you have with your mother. And we also have to say, if you no longer have a mother, and if you had a mother, if she's no longer here, what was the relationship that you had with her when she was here, and or whoever else filled that mother role for you, if there were someone else. So let us be clear. So again, how would you describe your relationship with your mother? Was it toxic? Was it fun-filled? Was it intense, loving, kind? Well, you know, only you can really answer that, because no two women, in my opinion, in our opinion, no two women have the same type of relationship with their mother. So we ran into a little bit of a little time crunch last week, so we decided to make it part 1 and 2. Rosa shared with you some wonderful things about her relationships with all her mothers, and so it's my turn. Spotlight on me. And if you looked at any of our previous 110 videos that we're proud to say we've done, if you looked at any of them, you can by pieces and piecemeal who you think I am. I have a lot of my mother in me, and I say that proudly. It was not a smooth relationship, so let me give you a little history. This story is 65 plus years in the making. I'm a native of Philadelphia. I stayed in, I was the 5th child and the 3rd girl of my mother's 6 children. And I had a 4 and 5 year difference between me and my older sisters. Well, you know, that's a funny place to be. I'm not the middle child, I'm not the youngest, I'm not the oldest, but I'm number 5. Okay, can you imagine that? And was always big for my age, and had the nerve to walk around, sucking my finger until well into my teens. That sounds bizarre, but you are who you are.
Well into your teens.
Yeah, well into my teens. Leave it alone. So with that, my earliest, as I'm looking at, how I became me and looking at the signature my mother left upon me, we were incredibly, some people say poor, I say po. We were po, and, because I'm sure I've already told you about the story about taking the jelly off the Spam and greasing our legs down with it because we were so poor we couldn't even afford Vaseline. And sometimes we couldn't even afford lard. Now, if you can't afford lard, and it's 1964, you po. Not poor, but po. But in any event, you don't know you're poor because, one, we've never missed a meal. So I only had one parent. I never did meet my natural father. So my mother, in my mind, was the world. If she said it, it was going to be done. My mother had control over everything. She ran everything. She let you know it was her house, not yours. You just had her permission to stay there until midnight of your 18th birthday. Yeah. Then you gotta go. You gotta go. One of her many famous sayings was, "Put something in the pot other than a spoon," meaning throw some meat in that pot. So, anyway, in my development years, my mother was everything. She was my Santa Claus because I didn't have a father, and I knew there was no such thing of any white man sliding down the chimney in North Philadelphia after midnight. Really? Never bought into it. But I think she had a unique relationship with all her children, but with me, it was just different. It was
well,
just
I'm sure that's
different.
What they all would say too.
Yeah, they would say that too, and of course it's to some degree. But sometimes mothers have the misstep of trying to raise all their children the same.
The same, yeah.
And that just doesn't work. Yeah. My mother was a Libra. I'm a Gemini. Dare I say, I win. I knew, and Rosa hates when I say that. I said, but I knew at 12 years old I was smarter than my mother.
Because every 12-year-old
think she didn't know, but I really was smart. And I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you when you told your story.
Okay, but I'm saying.
I'm sorry. Let me digress for 1 second. Does my wife look wonderful today, or what? Or is it just me? You smoking, baby. You're smoking. You look good. You look good. We've had a very good weekend.
If you don't tell your story, and go ahead.
So here we go. Back to the story.
But thank you. But thank you. Go ahead, Tasha.
You can blush if you want to, because you know you want to. You know you're looking good, man. Hey, Mrs. Williams. I'm feeling silly today. So apparently, in any event, I'm saying at 12 years old, I thought I was smart, because what teenager does it, or preteen does it? At 13 and 14, I definitely knew I was. So my mother made it very, very clear that she did not want to have any children, and there she was, saddled with 6. So she encouraged all of us to get out of her house as soon, like I said, as we turned 18. I left at 16, but I did not know I could have been emancipated. I couldn't even spell the word, more or less do the action. So I had to come back to my mother's house, and I was just waiting. I graduated from school at 17. I tried to go in the Navy, and I did not know in 1972 that you had to be 18 for a woman to go into the Navy. So I waited till 3 days after my 18th birthday, and I went into the Navy. Had never been on a plane before, went to Orlando, Florida, and went through boot camp, and the Navy changed my whole life. So I'm giving you all that backstory just to say, you know, back to the relationship with my mother. My mother taught me some of the key things I needed in my life, and that was one, made sure that do talk in complete sentences, look at people when you're talking to them, make eye contact, take care of your teeth and your feet and everything in between. Don't touch nothing that don't belong to you. Don't worry about white folks, they crazy. But she did let me know, just because a person is white and don't look like you don't mean that they're against you, and everyone that looks like you don't mean that they're for you. So you know, those kind of things. Just when I just think about when I was just trying to condense it down to how much I am like her. She was fair, she was honest, she had a great sense of humor. Matter of fact, I think that's where I get my comic genius from. My mother was always ready. You know, people would just come over just to hear her, you know, crack a joke, and you know, she'd just make hard times seem like fun times, and she just had a way about her. My mother, she'd laugh all day with you, and she'd joke with you, but she wouldn't lie. You know, and as the old folks say, tell the truth and shame the devil. She just thought being a liar was a low person. Mm-hmm. So throughout my life, there's times when a lie would have set me free, but I had to tell the truth. Right. I had to tell the truth. So all those little things sprinkled in throughout my development years, which I did not know was really leaving its signature upon me, more or less her signature upon me. When it was time, you know, when I did good, she celebrated me. When I didn't do well or you did something very wrong, she whooped my ass.
Right.
Okay, like.
Which she should have.
Like she should have,
she need
right?
to come back
right.
and whoop your butt.
But,
no,
so here's the things that I think that really kind of put me in a different direction. And I'm talking about the importance of mothers in our life. And I'm speaking, you know, we're speaking to, of course, all the members of Lesbian Land and far beyond. Out of my mother's 3 daughters, you become who your mother tells you you are, usually. She told, you know, we thought my older sister, Carmen, we thought she was a cute one. Carmen thought she was a cute one, and she really is. She still looked good. Yeah, I ain't mad at her. I mean, she's flawless still, you know, at 7 years old.
Especially for her age.
Especially for her, but we're black women.
Back in the day, but
I know,
she
but
looks really good.
We're black women, so yeah. I'm not going to discount that. She looks good. But so as soon as someone tells you that you're pretty or you're cute or you fine, you become fine. Right. Because someone that you trust with that information has told you that. Your mama. My mama says I'm cute, so hey y'all, you go through the world thinking you're cute. All right? My middle sister Denise, who wasn't branded the cute one, but Niecy was extremely intelligent and can cook. And further on down the line, my mother became a 7-day Adventist, and so did Denise, which made them closer. So what are we going to do about little Sharon?
Well, was Denise considered the smart one?
We knew she was very intelligent. I mean, yeah. the money was on her until I showed up how intelligent I was.
You know,
no, right. She said there's competition from the little chubby one. So here we go. You know, as you misbehave sometime, you know, in your preteens and all, doing something that your mama told you she better not catch you doing, all I heard was the operative word was catch. So I felt like I could do it. Just don't get caught doing it, right? So it made me fast. So in the event, my mother says to me one day, when I was misbehaving with my cousins, and she says, "You know you wrong, and I know you wrong." She said, "But you're the smart one. I know you started it." So I'm saying, all I heard was I'm the smart one. My mother said I was the smart one, so I became the smart one. And again, I'm already a Gemini, so I was already anointed. in my mind, right? So I thought, so here it is. I'm chubby. I'm the youngest girl. I got big feet. I'm wearing a size 9, almost a size 10 shoe, and I'm in the 6th grade. And they kept on saying, will she please stop growing? You know, that kind of stuff. So, but I heard the words, you're smart. You're smart. And what do you think that did to me? I became smart. I became smart. And if you don't think that's powerful, the flip side of that was, unfortunately, my older sister had to repeat a grade, and someone said that she was dumb. And what do you think she became that day? Right? Not as smart as Sharon. Right? Not as intelligent as the middle child, Denise. And though she's not dumb, she's smart as anyone else. But if someone said it to you, more or less someone from a very powerful position, more or less the most powerful position of a person in your life, your mother, if your mother said it, got to be true. So we got smart Sharon. Sharon jumped on a trolley car, jumped off the trolley car, went into the Navy, signed up for the Navy, didn't even know I needed my mother's permission, finally got that, and went on, and like I said, I never looked back. Never look back. Now, somewhere in those developmental years, something happened. Somewhere between 10 and 12, actually 8 or 9. Well, have patience with me today as I'm giving you significant backstory. Somewhere in that time frame.
Backstory. No, okay.
Who's she? Who's she? No, as they say, who her? So in any event, so somewhere in that time in development, somewhere between 8 and 10, I told my mother, that I was having these feelings. Well, what preteen doesn't have feelings? I told my mother I like girls. And, she gave me that look, and then when they kind of squint their eye, what do you mean you like girls? I knew what I was saying, and she said, no. She wouldn't even entertain the question, but was making sure that she wanted to find out how I thought I meant it. When I came back to her, I was somewhere between 12 and 14. I'm getting ready to go to the 9th grade, and I'm saying, Mom, I got a crush on a girl named Charmaine Haynes. What do you mean you got a crush on Charmaine Haynes? So I said, and so, being fast for my age, as Rosa calls it, fast tail. You're hanging out with older people and the teenagers, so the word back then was funny. They said, we think Sharon gonna be funny. So I told my mother I thought I was funny. She said, funny like ha-ha? No, I'm funny like funny. And I was just trying to express to her that I like girls. She said, no, you're not, and go back outside and play. Like she wasn't even going to entertain it, okay? So now I'm just about getting ready to go toward being sexually.
So she said, no, you weren't. Then you weren't supposed to be.
Right.
Because her word is bond.
Right, yeah, but I was feeling these feelings. So meanwhile, by this time, I'm kissing on girls, and you're playing house with your cousins, and the girl next door, I always wanted to be the daddy. What a surprise. I always wanted to be the daddy. So what does this have to do with my relationship with my mother? I felt that she gave me everything I needed. And as I left home, saw the world, educated myself, had many experiences and just fun times, crazy times, and all the things that happened to us somewhere between 18 and 50, not to mention 67. This is what I think would happen to our relationship. I was convinced that I did not need my mother. I was convinced. I think she had given me everything I needed to know. Hygiene, there's a God, the things the basic principles that you need to navigate through life. And remember, somewhere in the back of my Gemini mind, I thought I was smarter than she was, right? So how dare I, but that's the arrogance, again, of a Gemini child. Well, my mother started getting all Bibled up and stuff, so she was a, Jehovah, that's my word, Bibled up, right? So she was a Jehovah Witness, a Seventh-day Adventist, a Christian. She went back to the Baptist church. Well, and as I see it in retrospect, she was just searching. Right. Just searching for, like, hey, I'm still looking for, what I need, and I still haven't found it, right? So my relationship was now, well, I don't need you financially, because I've been feeding myself since I was 16 years old, 2 years before I legally left our home. That wasn't it. And and I felt so very grown and so, if you will, spiritually emancipated. Time went on. By this time, I'm living in California, and of course, you're just glad that you can afford to send your mama a ticket to come visit you. She came and visited. She met the women I was living with. She met the people I was partying with, and I know she did not approve of it, but I'm the one that told her I was gay, and I didn't do it for her approval. I did it just to let her know. Well, I did
it's a courtesy.
It was a courtesy, right, exactly. Not that she didn't know.
So when you hear it on the street, you
know. Right. And so what it did was, I think more than anything, I think my mother was embarrassed. I think she did, my mother had told me, and I really mean it, she said that I'd rather see you be a whore in the street than to be a dyke. Now, I didn't know she had issues with dykes. So as I'm coming out, my mother asked me, like, well, what do you mean you're funny? Well, did Miss Vi say something to you? Was it Miss Jerry? Was it Miss Thomas? Was it Miss Dolores? And she's naming all these women who were all lesbians, and her friends. So I'm thinking, didn't I tell you? I didn't tell you that. So I'm thinking my mother hangs around a bunch of lesbians, and I'm trying to tell her that that I am one. And she, oh no, you're not. So what? Not knowing the experiences she's had, I don't know if someone hit on her. She didn't like it. I didn't know if she was bisexual and she was on the down low. I do not know to this day. But I'm telling you, she didn't want to know. So her threat to me was, if you're going to be gay, I'm going to tell your brothers and sisters. Like I give a shit. Wait a minute. Like they have more impact on me. So like I said, Mom, they already know. Like we all looking at her. You know what I mean? Like Sharon been kissing girls for the last 6 years. So today, as we're talking about, the type of relationship we have, as I, was getting older and really maturing, so now I'm in my late 20s, going through my 30s, and our relationship is good as it can be, but I was not going to let her think that she had more power over me than I had over me. I'm not going to stop being gay because you don't like it. It was a lot of things I didn't like that she did, and she didn't stop them.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Because so with I declared my independence so early in my life, mentally, if not physically, it was like I really did not care. I mean, and I guess on some level you care as much, people like, oh, you couldn't have been that independent. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Yeah. And when you're not living in a person's house and they're not feeding you or clothing you or bought you your first car, they got so much power over you.
Right.
Okay.
Like, what you gonna do? Cut me off? Okay.
Wait. Oh, it's Mother's Day. I'm gonna send you a check for $150 and some flowers too. But you ain't gonna stop my business.
And if you mad, send it back.
Right. Now, really tear it up, and I know how you feel. So as we're speaking about, the relationships that we have with our mothers before and after they know we're gay, I felt that I didn't, and I did tell her this long before she left the planet. I told her that I said, I don't need mothering. I got all the things I need. All the things you told me, I put it in my little bag. The things, how to, deal with people and navigate people, and to be kind and don't cuss and respect the fact that there is a God. Well, all of that was, in my little bag. But I told her, I said, I need a friend. And I really hope that we can be friends. And I think she really heard me. So fast forward in the year 2006, it was quite apparent that the cancer had come back, and we were losing her. But I was back in Philadelphia twice in the month of April, and by Mother's Day, we had buried her the day before Mother's Day. But our last conversation, and I think she knew, and I knew. We both knew that this probably would be our last conversation because I was on my way back to California, and we just had such a wonderful conversation. And, she apologized for some things and just simply said, I didn't know better. She says, but whatever I did since I've been here, I must have did something right because look at you. And I never felt closer to her than that. I really didn't. And it was, she was just letting me know that, yeah, Sharon, you are as sharp as you think you are. That's the way I interpret it, because again, I'm a Gemini, Of
course.
But there was no.
Somebody give her this much. Sharon took that.
All right, I'm going to take the rope and jump with it. But it was a wonderful conversation. No apologies, some clarity. and it was just good. It was just good. And so I was okay. I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's easy, and for parents to accept, accept, and be okay with their child being gay, more or less. Their, if it's a daughter, her being a lesbian, whatever, because of some stuff in their head, not yours. Right. I'm just glad, and I even told her, and she'd even asked me years ago. She had said, "You don't like men at all?" I heard not to do that with him. My thing is, they're okay. I have male friends, buddies. I've hung out with guys, but there'll be none of that.
Right.
No, it doesn't even enter my mind. I don't see it. I don't daydream about it. I don't think about it. It's just, when I was looking at movies, I told you guys in one of the videos, of course, that I always wanted to be Cary Grant, because Cary Grant was always dressed and he always got the girl. And I'm like, hey, I want to get the girl. So anyway, so not to make light of it, it's a serious relationship. I look at and hold on to all the good that was there. I don't think my attitude, even at as a very young person, I don't need your permission to be who I am. Right. That's where I was. Because what I was seeing, I saw my brothers doing what they wanted to do. Both of my sisters, fortunately or unfortunately, became teenage parents. Guess what I ain't doing at 16? I ain't having nobody's baby. We can cross that off the list. So, and not that it was bad or good, it just wasn't my path. It's simple as that. And when you're okay with you, it's kind of hard for the rest of the world not to be okay with you, because, I stand in my truth.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with that.
So
my relationship with my mom, it was good. I took the good.
Yeah.
I took the good. Don't hang on to the negative stuff. And it's gotten me this far, and I'm very thankful. I'm thankful that I had a mother. I just think it would have been more complex if I allowed it to be. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, I basically was one of those people, look, you do you, because I'm doing me. And I'm not even going to do me in the city of Philadelphia. I'm going to go to California and really be me. And I did. So,
well,
go ahead,
interesting that something you said earlier, whereas your mother gave you all of the tools that you needed. Do you think, because I know, and I didn't even get into this part last week.
For you.
With any of the moms that I mentioned, well, I know my adopted mom did hug me a lot, but that affection that you sometimes need as a child, when you look at the studies being done, a lot of times if kids aren't coddled or given a lot of affection, then they're kind of distant or whatever the case may be.
So what's your question?
So my question to you is, do you feel like your mom gave you enough of, like hugs and accolades and stuff like that?
Two parts. With the affection, she wasn't big on affection. And as I grew to know her, you can't give it if you didn't get it. Her father was even a physical abuser, and her mother was passive, for most of their married life. So she was not a come here, you hurt yourself, let me kiss it, whatever. Like I hurt my knee. She said, like, you trying to do clumsy. Pick your feet up and walk. He won't fall down. That kind of stuff. She was a tough old broad.
Yeah.
That's who she was. So no, I didn't get the affection. But second part of your question, as far as positive reinforcements, I did get that. My mother let me know, that she was proud of me. She always let me know. She said, you're pretty smart. You smart enough. I know you can do that. I'm not surprised. So again, when someone tells you you're smart, you immediately become smart.
Right.
Or a good impression, your impression of what a smart person would act like. So I did get that. I can't lie. I really, really did. And again, if she hadn't gotten it for me, mine would have been self-injected. Again, Gemini.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm not, but really. Okay, so yeah, but I did get that. I really, really did, and I appreciate that. Now, did I get enough? I think so. But I also
some kids need it more than others. Like,
and they need more of it,
less than your sisters, or more of that. So I definitely get that. But another thing that I wanted to bring up, that you were talking about with your mom when you came out. I think that's what. Never mind, because I can't even remember.
What about being a dyke, a bulldagger, or something? What?
No, just kind of being on your own. But I can't remember what part. I wanted to restate the part you said, but don't worry about it.
Okay.
So anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, but you know, if you walk away with nothing else from the last two videos, we just want to examine the importance and bring it back, you know, forward to. You know, how important was your mother to you in your life, and what is your relationship with her now? Some women I've met throughout my life, I was simply envious of what a wonderful, positive relationship they have with their mothers.
Right.
And their mothers aren't just their mothers; they're their best friends. They go shopping together, or they go shopping. They bring something back for their mother.
And that's the type of relationship, you know, most people wish for. I know I did. I did a lot, but I do remember now what
Go ahead,
I wanted
please.
to say.
Please.
When you know, when you said, you know, you knew you were losing your mother and you all had a great conversation, and the one thing she said was that, you know, she didn't know, you know, some things she
didn't know better. Right.
She didn't know better.
Right.
And it's like just that, if my biological mom would at least say just that, it makes a big difference, because then you know they have grown and they have come to terms.
Right, did some
with
self-evaluations
some of the stuff that they have done. And she just hasn't even said that to this day. And, you know, I still have my biological mother. She's still around. So my thing was, I mean, that would have been big for me as well.
Right,
you know?
right.
So,
And I hear you. And it was big for me. And I was,
Yeah.
again, another blessing. I had my mother till I was 55, 56 years old. You know what I mean? I mean, I've had a lifetime. I mean, I'm good and grown and been on my own forever. But to have had a mother in my life and someone still, quote unquote, mothering me.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's cool. But back to your mother and not making anything, the ground softer for her. I would just say sometimes not only we don't do because we don't know,
Right.
but sometimes she don't even know she don't know.
But even now, in her life, you've come to terms with some stuff. Some stuff you know that, oh, back then I could have done this. Well, I didn't even know that back then. Okay, but you know now.
Right.
So you already know there are some things that you could have done different. She doesn't even want to acknowledge that. And that's the biggest thing.
It bothers you?
Yeah, it's like 40-year-old lies and you still can't be truthful with them. I just got a problem with that. But
Right.
anywho,
Yeah, and
that's why
because
my relationship is strained, and you know,
Right,
yours wasn't quite there. You know?
But sometimes we want from them some things that they simply refuse to produce, aren't going to produce. And if you've been telling yourself lies so long, you know what I mean. The
She
truth,
believes that it's the truth.
right?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, the truth ain't got the truth that never comes back in because
Yeah.
the lies have lies.
Yeah.
And you know what they say: if you tell one lie, you got to tell three to get out of them. She can't even pick up the thread to the first original lie.
Right,
You know,
right.
and imagine her living her life like that. You know, and so again, not making no judgment, but I'm just saying it's not easy on them. It's many things I can say right now. I'm just going to just let it lie. But I cannot release myself from thinking that with some of the women I've met in my life, more or less the people who I've spent quality time with, if you want to know who you're living with and who you're loving, meet their mother if at all possible. You know, and I'm not saying that always solves the ultimate mystery,
Right.
but sometimes when you meet a lying, scheming little bitch, you know, and you meet her mother, who's the original lying, scheming bitch, you're just like, oh my God, it's hereditary. Right, and I'm not trying to be glib, but you know it's real.
Yeah,
You know, just like sometimes you meet loving, wonderful people, like, oh my goodness, you're just, you know, oh my God, your mother's the gingerbread mother, you know, and wow.
Or sometimes you can, you know, who your mother is, you say, that's who I'm not going to be. And
Absolutely.
you're absolutely the
Absolutely.
opposite of that person.
Or
So
try to
you be
distance
like,
yourself from
how
it.
is that her mother? They don't act anything like, you know. So even, you know, with my daughter in my relationship, you know, I think we have a good relationship, but she is nothing like her mother.
Nothing.
I mean, the only thing I can say, she okay with the flipness. She got the little flip lip. But other than that, nothing like her mother. You know,
No.
she looks at me like, really, Mom?
Right,
When I'm doing stuff.
Right. But she's intelligent. She's she's got just a good sense of when I first met Tyler, I just say it's not just what she knows, it's what she understands. She has a good basic understanding of the world and of the life that she's living. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Dad's over here, Mom's gay now, she done married some woman named Sharon. You know, she ain't tripping stuff because she understands. She's a Capricorn, she's sure-footed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, she is nothing like you. Tyler wants her nails done and she wants her toenails to match. You, not so much.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's nice when we can, but you ain't going to fall out if you don't. Right? You know, and I would say she looks like a foo-foo girl, though she probably doesn't describe herself as such.
Oh, she's not a foo-foo girl.
But
that's for sure.
She's definitely very feminine, and she's very self-contained. Mm-hmm. That would be my word for her, and very intelligent, very intelligent. You know, but again, putting y'all two together, there's a lot of stuff that you have with you that she just doesn't have,
right?
And she probably will never possess, and that's okay. Right. You don't have to be mirror twins, you know. But, but what I do see there is a lot of love and respect and honesty and support. You guys, I don't care if she sees this video, Tyler calls her mother just about every day. And I just think how sweet. I said, be flattered with that, because there's a lot of young girls out there that don't talk to their mamas.
Especially not at 19. And I know it's probably going to, get fewer and fewer. So I'm just embracing the time.
Yeah, she's going to pump the brakes a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she's out there doing what she want to do. You know what I mean? But
trying to be grown.
Right. But I'm just saying, I think y'all have a great relationship, and she'll do well. She'll do well. But you're right. You guys are nothing alike. Nothing alike.
Yeah.
So
my son, we have a great relationship, but to have him call me, that's a whole nother. Well,
he's whole
nother show.
Wait a minute. He's a boy. And he's 16 years old.
Yeah,
and he loves the games.
Yeah.
Right? So what? Where does that sound like, let me take 10 minutes and call my mama today? You know, we have to call him to remind him to call his mama someday.
I'd be like, weren't you supposed to call me?
Wait a minute. And one day he said, is it Mother's Day? Oh, click. No, you won't have to wait till Mother's Day to call you. Did I miss something? You know, but he's a boy. Yeah. He's a boy. You know, I'm sorry. That's not a waiver, but anyhow. So with today's segment, we just hope that some of this touches you or gives you some, some food for thought. We're talking about the complexities and the uniqueness of relationships with women and their mother. Yeah. And it just runs the whole gamut. It truly does. Okay, so you're not going to find two that's alike. I don't poo-poo them. I just say, that's interesting. And as I'm in Rosa's life, and we are married, I do have a couple of mother-in-laws. So I'll know.
Yes, you do.
Look, I'm loving them all, baby. I'm just like, look, it's more. They probably have more of an issue with me than I do with them, because I'm so comfortable with who I am. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, you've only met two. You met my stepmother and my adopted mom. You haven't met my biological mother.
No, I haven't, but I've talked to her.
Nor my godmother. Yeah.
Well, I can't. Well, she's not. Yeah,
No, not Aunt Tootie, my godmother.
Yeah.
But anywho.
Wow. Well, I feel like this has been good. It's almost been therapeutic for me.
That's exactly how I felt last week. It was very therapeutic, because some of the stuff, when you think about it and you say it, you give energy to it.
Right.
Okay.
And that energy
was good. That felt good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That you actually admit it.
And then that energy is attached to memories, which breeds more memories, and you're just like, wow, I didn't mean to go that deep. You know what I mean? But please do. You have our permission, but more than anything, you give yourself permission to examine the relationship that you have with your mother. Yes. And again, if you've lost your mother or never had one, our condolences. But please look at the relationship you have with people in your life who feel that mother-type relationship with you.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So, as always, we're wishing you the very best
of all good things. Stay safe and stay woke. And again, happy birthday, September.
I don't know why she needs to do that, but okay. Okay, my
I need to sing everything. Y'all know how I do.
Yeah, you would think that would be odd, but that's the way she came. That's the way I'm loving her. See you later.
Bye.